You think it'll sync up to this?
Ooh.
Shabada.
Yes. I
Shabada
kind of do think it was.
Tamabota one new Honda.
Who stole my Honda stuff? Okay, here we go. Oh, that's a terrible clap. Oh, yeah, son. People out there in TV land, this is the official DLC Guys podcast show. I'm your host, Matt Bailey, along with my equal but totes fresh co-host, Mr. Xander Todd.
Hello.
And we are coming at you live from the DF Dub, circa episode number 17. Xander, how we doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Feeling great, feeling good.
How are you?
I don't know.
Time to go.
But I'm looking kind of blue.
Episode 17 up on you.
What's now?
Yeah.
We back for episode 17. Episode number
back.
17. And we back.
Have you missed us?
I don't know. Maybe you haven't even watched us.
Have you missed me?
Maybe not.
If this is your first time, we are the DLC guys. So
Who are we?
We are.
We are.
VR.
VR troopers.
That is, yeah. Didn't they? Oh, that segues into our topic today.
What is our topic?
Our topic today is remakes and reboots.
Remakes and reboots. There's a show called a Reboot.
So many remakes
to discuss.
Yes. And with Disney pretty much remaking our entire childhood.
Your childhood, I didn't really have one. My childhood consisted of Bible Man.
You couldn't even watch Disney shows?
The first Disney movie I remember watching was The Lion King.
Okay.
Because it didn't have any magic. Although it was argued in my house that Rafiki was a witch doctor. So it was a monkey. I don't know. So,
like when he cracked that mango open,
yeah,
and smeared that stuff across his forehead.
It is time.
I thought that was just good moisturizer. But I was saying that because was VR Troopers, did they try to reboot that or remake that?
I don't think they did.
I feel like they're trying to bring it back out.
It's possible. I mean, anything is possible. With Jesus on my team.
I know. Why you trying to sound cool with this? Hey, that's one thing I can't stand.
That's from the Boondocks, bro.
Oh, I remember
that episode that they made fun of Tyler Perry.
Hey, that's on the list, bro. That's on the list.
It is.
Dude, let's not give it up. Okay, okay. This episode is about remakes and reboots, and remodels. We are going to talk about the best reboots
and the
worst reboots, and what we would like to see rebooted or remade, whatever you would say.
Now, let me be the first to say, a lot of these we know kind of surface value.
Yeah.
Of about. So don't get all funky talking about y'all don't know what y'all talking about, blah blah blah. Chill out.
But you know what? If you have a valid point, please let us know in the comments because I would like to be educated.
My guess is you don't have a valid point.
If you, because I can be swayed, but you got to bring some good points. You got to bring it, not bring it.
You got to brung it past tense, which means it's already been brought.
You have been served.
You have been served pancakes like Prince did to Charlie Murphy.
That goes on the list too. Wait. It was rebooted.
No, it wasn't.
The Lost Tapes.
That wasn't rebooted.
Yeah, it wasn't reboot, but we'll never get that again. But hey, let's start off with the best remakes.
Netflix can make it happen?
Yeah. They already dropping money for them. We talking about Dave Chappelle for the youngins out there.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the best remakes. So the first one that I could think of right off the bat for me, because I'm a huge Marvel fan, is Spider-Man.
Spider-Boy.
The transition between Sony and Marvel. I think the one with, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. The first Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. And then Andy Garfield. Is that his name? Andy Garfield was it?
Oh, I don't know. We'll just call him like Punk Spider-Man.
But
Mr. Spider-Man that can't brush his hair.
Yeah,
can't comb his hair.
The British Spider-Man.
Well, they're both, the last two are both British.
Yeah, but I would say Marvel did a great job of rebooting this version of Spider-Man, which is hard because the other two versions weren't that far away from each other. So they really did a good job of rebooting this. I think they tied the story in together. Like, it seamlessly moved into the MCU universe.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, yeah. Tom Holland I think he's the perfect Spider-Man.
He is.
He's young.
Yep.
He's smart.
Yep.
He has one-liners.
Yep.
I think he's great for it. Like, Spider-Man has always been the person that you least expect to be the superhero, right? He's the nerd. He's the not so big, doesn't look strong, but he's like one of the strongest superheroes.
Question.
Yeah.
Why was Miles Morales? Why is his name Morales? Did we talk about that?
No, you asked me this before because his dad is black and his mom is Hispanic.
Yeah.
But I know some black people with, it might have been Dominican Republic.
No, you don't.
Them Dominican Republicans.
They got some strong genes.
Yeah.
Like, they got Lee brand genes.
But that's my first best reboot.
I can concur. I think that the first remake after the original trilogy with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of
the first one was okay.
The one that had, I think, the stupid
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
That was absolutely stupid. Jamie Foxx had no business being in that movie.
How can you waste the talent of Jamie Foxx so much? And here's the thing: it wasn't even that he shouldn't play that character; it's the way they betrayed that character.
Betrayed or portrayed?
Portrayed.
Okay.
And they betrayed him. They betrayed the character.
They betrayed and portrayed him all at the same time.
All at the same time.
That's interesting. Yeah. I thought that movie was pretty terrible, but I thought the overall kind of inkling of Spider-Man was cool. I felt that they put too much of it on his shoulder and tried to make it too much of a Spider-Man's got this he's got this responsibility, and how is he going to do this? How is he going to be this? And they did not get the full essence of Spider-Man, which is the playful side of him. Yeah, he was kind of playful.
You
but
talking about with the Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland, like you said, perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I honestly can't imagine anybody else being a better Spider-Man. I mean, just the way that they brought him in in the Avengers movie, where you just see him taking pictures because he's such a huge fan of the Avengers, and now he's here and he doesn't want to miss a moment because nobody's going to believe him when he gets to school, but then he can't show it to anybody at school. He even throughout
he actually looks like a high schooler.
Yeah.
Like, it was a running joke that Spider-Man got younger and so did Aunt May. Like in Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first one for me. Like, one of the best remakes out there right now was the transition from Sony Spider-Man to Marvel Spider-Man.
All right, that was a good one. I think for me, one of the best remakes that ever happened was The Wiz.
The Wiz, we going old school.
Yeah, we are going old school, and that is because The Wizard of Oz came out. When did that come out? Can I say came out?
Wizard of Oz had to come out in the 60s or the 50s?
I think earlier than that. Let's see, 1939
Wait, 1939?
1939.
The first Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Wow.
With Judy Garland. Came out in 1939.
39.
It was an hour and 52 minutes. And the
Wiz was the 70s, I'm guessing.
70s or 60s.
Had to be said. That's when Michael Jackson was really popping in the 70s.
The Wiz came out
78.
in 1978.
Yeah.
So in The Wiz, okay. I'm gonna open this back up, and I'm gonna compare the two. The Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz, of the ozone layer. I would like to compare the two casts, because I believe one had such an all-star cast that it was ridiculous. Okay, all right. So I've got both of them pulled up right now, and so Xander, I'm just gonna go through a couple of. We're just gonna go through the list of the names of the people who starred in it, and I want you to tell me who you've heard of. Okay, so for The Wizard of Oz, 1939, we've got Judy Garland. You heard of her?
Yes.
Okay. You got Frank Morgan. Who's that?
Nobody. I didn't even say nobody. That's disrespectful. I don't know. I can tell you right off the bat.
No. Let's go through it. Have you heard of Ray Bolger?
No.
Brett Lahr.
No.
Jack Haley.
Yes.
He was the Steel Man. Billy Burke.
No.
Margaret Hamilton.
No.
Charlie Gapewin.
No.
All right.
Win.
Gapewin. Terry as Toto. The Singer Midgets.
No.
Excuse me, that's the inappropriate word. Little Peoples. Okay. These are main characters in The Wizard of Oz. Now we go over to The Wiz, which is basically the black version of The Wizard of Oz in the 70s, which was the blaxploitation era where black people took regular names of movies, or they had just predominantly
it was a weird time.
Black actors, and people were capitalizing off of how popular black movies were. So they would put black in front of a regular, popular, known movie. And so they kind of took the same approach with The Wiz, but this one they wanted to go all out. So, Xander, have you heard of Diana Ross?
Yes.
She was in the movie. She played Dorothy. Michael Jackson.
Yes.
He played the Scarecrow. Nipsey Hussle.
Well, Nipsey Russell.
Yes, Nipsey Russell.
That's where
he was the Tin Man, the Steel Man. Ted Ross.
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
Yes, R.I.P. Ted Ross. I've only known him from this, but I know he was a really huge actor on Broadway. Mabel King.
Yes.
Eveline. Teresa Merritt.
Yes.
Not really heard of her. Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Richard Pryor played the Wiz. This is basically an all-star cast of people, of main characters, predominant characters that have notoriety in other things before this. And the movie was great. It was one of the first times black people could see themselves in something as iconic in the same kind of story as The Wizard of Oz.
I think this is a rare moment where the original and the remake were both awesome.
They were.
Because you got, man, I didn't realize that The Wizard of Oz was from the 30s.
Yep.
For them to do that in the 30s, bro, that was...
And it was originally a black and white.
That was like...
Or it started out black and white, and then it went to Technicolor.
That was their version of Transformers. Like, all the effects and props and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was basically Transformers of the 30s.
It was.
Yeah, so that's a good one.
Now we're gonna kind of talk about whichever ones you want to talk about next.
We're gonna transition to those for some of the movies. We picked a couple of movies that we thought. I know that there's more. Leave a comment about your favorite one.
Do that.
The best one. The comment in the comment section. Comment in the comment section. Now we're gonna talk
Click
about
the link in the description.
There's no link. There's never a link.
There's always, as Pilliam Crosby once told us, there's always a link in the description, Mr. Xander Todd.
The secret link of the day is we're gonna talk about some games, right? DLC guys.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was Star Fox 64. So I put this on the list because
Explain why, son.
So Star Fox originally came out on the Nintendo. Star Fox 2 just got released a couple of years ago because they never released it. So they released it on the Nintendo Classic.
Okay, gotcha.
So the reason why they didn't release Star Fox 2 was because they were transitioning to Nintendo 64. So Star Fox 2 just got left kind of in the dust. But I remember playing Star Fox on the Nintendo, and it was a cool game. I wasn't that impressed.
Right.
But playing it on the 64, it was revolutionary to me because my fascination with aircrafts and stuff like that, fighter jets and stuff like that, and being able to fly. And even though like I don't think it stands up today, of course, but it was a great remake to me, like of the original Star Fox.
Okay.
So that's one of the games that I thought they were pretty cool.
I think for me, I think one of the better remakes is actually happening right now with Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. I mean, you take a game, excuse me, golly. You take a game that was already great and had an enormous following, and you not only update the graphics and the music, which the music is iconic just on its own.
Yeah.
But you update the gameplay as well, and you create this brand new way to play interactive RPGs.
Yeah.
So it's not the turn. I mean, it still is kind of turn-based style, but it's interactive as to where when you're ready to cast a spell, you have it's like time slows down to the point where you have time to choose what you want to do. You can
like
switch
quick
between
action.
yeah
Type.
yeah almost something like that along those lines. And I think what they're doing with that, I think, is fantastic. It's something that the gaming community has not seen since the likes of Halo.
Yeah.
Halo came on the scene as a first-person shooter that got it right. And they basically set the precedent for every other first-person shooter after that. You know, but and I think in the same way, Final Fantasy VII Remake is doing the exact same thing for everything else. All kinds of role-playing games, adventure games, turn-based style games, what have you, base everything under the umbrella.
Yeah. I mean, we went over this in kind of full detail about our with our Square Enix review of E3. Like, I mean, this game hasn't even been released yet, but it's definitely going to be a great remake just from the looks of it.
Yeah.
For me, I can jump back into some. I mean, we're gonna be going back and forth with movies and games. Like, these is just great remakes. For me, Ocean's 11 was a great remake. I remember watching the original with my grandmother, and that was with the Rat Pack. So for them to follow up that with the iconic Rat Pack was awesome. Like, and you want to talk about star-studded cast,
right?
Like, I mean, and I liked every Ocean's 11 movie after that. I haven't seen Ocean's 8, but Ocean's 11 had all of the stars in it.
Let's take a look at it. We had George Clooney, Sheila Ann Britt. I don't know who that is. Board member. We'll skip them.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac, the late great Bernie Mac.
Yes. Brad Pitt.
Who else was in here? Elliot Gold. God, these other people.
Yeah, but I mean, if you haven't seen Ocean's 11, it's a great remake for me.
It is.
Like they got it right. It kind of gave homage to the older version, but it also paved their own lane. So
yeah. Great pick. Now let's kind of one last one, the Jungle Book remake.
Yes,
the Jungle Book that was done, the live action one. It had Christopher Walken as the giant monkey. What was the monkey's name? Not Baloo. King Louie.
Yeah, Baloo was the bear.
Yeah, Baloo was the bear. Oh my gosh, that was perfect.
And I mean, this is along the same lines though. Disney is going on a remake live action tour. Seems like.
Yeah.
We were talking about Aladdin before the podcast.
Yeah.
We both saw Aladdin. I think I've heard this from a lot of people, but here's my take on Aladdin. I thought that the live action was good. Will Smith wasn't bad as the genie. Of course, you're not going to replace Robin Williams.
No.
And there's a lot of limitations from animation to live action.
Yeah, and Will Smith, like, he was heavily assisted with auto-tune in the parts that he did sing, but a lot of the stuff, it was like he was rapping. So if you were expecting a lot of the songs from the Genie, like the Genie's iconic song, Will Smith basically rapped it and like spoke most of it, and I was like,
his own take. I thought some of it was could be a little cringy, but you know what? How do you do that? Like, nobody can do it right. Like he took the role and did what he did with it. Like, he wasn't bad.
That's true.
Like, who do you
true.
think can feel? First of all, Robin Williams has passed away, so that made him legendary already.
Took himself out.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody grew up on it, and you know what I'm interested in? I'm skipping a little bit, but I'm interested to see how the Lion King would do.
I think the Lion King is probably going to do a little bit better because it's more iconic.
Beyonce is in there.
Yeah. But you know what? Going back to your question, who could do a better version? Now, I don't know. You may have to give him a different voice, but I think a person who would probably be the best at doing that would probably be doing the Genie. I can see Steve Carell doing the Genie.
That's a great pick. I can definitely see Steve Carell doing it. And I wonder if they approached him about it.
I don't know.
Cause he almost has that, especially the Office role.
Yeah.
The Office. I mean, the role that he played in The Office is Michael Scott. Kind of reminds you of that Robin Williams kind of playfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be dope. I got one more movie. And what was it? Did I say the Jungle Book? What was the other one that I was thinking about? I just had it up. Oh well, I don't remember.
An honorable mention is Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good remake. A lot more action in the new ones. It's definitely action packed in the newer ones.
I need to watch the older ones.
I've watched them before.
Or the older one, and then watch the newer ones because I haven't seen any of the newer ones.
It's almost kind of like watching the older Star Wars and watching the newer ones.
Yeah, I remember what it is. Batman.
Yes.
Batman Returns, or not Batman Returns. The Dark Knight trilogy, I thought was hands above. In my opinion,
it's probably the greatest.
I would probably I'd put it above The Wiz because I think that trilogy, that remake, that reimagining of Batman as a physical person, if Batman was in a realistic Earth as we exist in. What would it look like? What would that be like? I think that was absolutely perfect, even down to the coupling of the film with the music.
So do you think Christopher Nolan was the best Batman ever?
Christopher Nolan didn't play Batman.
I mean, not Christopher Nolan, not the director, but who was the guy?
Why am I drawing a blank? Do I think basically he was the best Batman?
Yeah.
In some ways, yes.
I believe, yeah. I mean, the reason why I say Christopher Nolan, I think he wrote the best story arc for Batman.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Yes.
Better
I believe you have to couple Christian Bale with Michael Caine. I think Christian Bale and Michael Caine's on-screen chemistry as Batman and Alfred is probably the best there is, because it wasn't so much that Alfred in this adaptation was just a butler and overseer, but they had a relationship. And a lot of times it was very sarcastic. They knew, he had spent time growing this child into a man, or raising this child into a man, and he knew who he was. So I thought that was perfect. So if you throw in Michael Caine with that, then yes, absolutely. Okay. If you're talking about just Batman alone, I'd probably go with Michael Keaton's adaptation of Batman, because that was more realistic to the. Well, I really can't even say that. I was thinking more realistic to the Detective Comics, but that still was Christian Bale, because you see him, working out, what bullet measurements were, just and developing all this equipment and stuff. So actually, I would probably say, yeah, Christian Bale's adaptation of Batman is the best for me.
Okay,
yeah, that's pretty dope. And now we are going to switch gears, and we are going to talk about what we think. Why does that happen?
You gotta keep going.
I'm freaking 34 years old, and my voice is cracking like going, I'm 16.
You gotta drink more water.
I'll drink some water right now.
That's the most disgusting thing I ever heard of life. Eating booty like groceries.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about what are some of the worst franchises that have done a remake in all of media.
Okay. You want me to start off? Alright, the first one for me will have to be...
No, I'll go first.
Alright.
I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Fantastic Four.
Oh...
Like I said, everybody knows.
Why didn't I think of that one?
I'm a huge Marvel fan. And the first time that Fantastic Four...
How huge are you?
...was on this huge. The first time that Fantastic Four was scheduled to come out.
Oh, yeah, I know you was...
I was so hyped. And the first one wasn't terribly bad. It was bad, but it wasn't the worst. I said, okay, maybe they'll get it right the second time around. So then the Silver Surfer came out on the second one. And they totally destroyed that franchise. The Silver Surfer was so,
he was such a loser.
Yes. I mean, and that's a horrible way to, and here's the thing. If you don't realize this, Chris Evans was a part of the Fantastic Four.
Yes, he was.
He was,
Fireman.
Yes, we're going to call him Fireman. He was Fireman. And he totally dodged the bullet by skipping away from Fox and getting with the real heroes as Captain America, so he dodged a big bullet there.
Yeah, he did.
But that was Chris Evans as Fireman. Then they decided, you know what? We're gonna try it one more time.
Wow.
Michael B. Jordan became Fireman.
Fireman.
Then he dodged the bullet and became Killmonger.
He sure did.
So,
but then he died, so he really didn't dodge that bullet.
We might not be dead. We don't know. But
we do. We saw him go.
Well,
he went.
And so for me, like, that was a horrible remake. I guess the first one would be the first one because that was the first Fantastic Four movie. The remakes, the reboot, remake, whatever you call it, the new Fantastic Four was also horrible. I'm praying that Marvel will get the franchise and take it in the right direction the way they did Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was mine. That's the first one that popped in my head with movies.
I want to show something real quick. Some of the writers for Fantastic Four include Mark Frost, whose notable things came out. Notable projects that he's written on were Fantastic Four, Hill Street Blues in 1981, and Twin Peaks.
And he was able to get the opportunity to write the Fantastic Four. No comic book movies.
None.
Wait, he did the Punisher too?
No. This is another person.
Okay.
There's another guy by name of Michael France. Michael France, who passed away in 2013. He wrote for Cliffhanger, GoldenEye, and the original Punisher in 2004.
Which
starred none other than the greatest actor of all time. What's his name?
He ain't that great.
What's his name? Oh my gosh. He was in Face Off.
I don't remember. That was the dark days of Marvel licenses.
Oh my gosh. That guy. What's his name?
He wasn't the original Punisher?
Yeah, he was. He was in the Punisher.
Go to the Punisher.
Nicolas Cage.
He was the original. No, he was Ghost Rider.
And wasn't he the Punisher?
No, he wasn't the Punisher.
Who played the Punisher?
I don't know who played the Punisher, but I know it wasn't Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Go to Punisher movie. Because this TV series is actually good.
I just go back to here. The Punisher.
See?
That's a weird looking guy.
Yeah, it's not Nicolas Cage.
Oh. Okay. Well, I thought it was Nicolas Cage.
But he was in Ghost Rider.
Yes. Which
So,
is still part of
Marvel. Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. So we've got there's two more credits of two writers. Stan Lee.
Well, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby are the two original writers and artists for Fantastic Four. So I guess they had to run stuff by them.
So the movie, not necessarily. So you got two guys who have nothing to do with anything comic book related.
Not at all.
And we get this crappy movie of the...
And let me tell you, the secret sauce for Marvel is that they actually talked to Stan Lee.
Yeah.
They went to the source.
Source material.
Fox and Sony, I don't know if they did that. It doesn't look like it because I can't believe that the late great Stan Lee was signed off on some of the crap that they put out. So, yeah.
I don't think so. That was a good one. I don't know if I can top that.
We pray to God that you don't top it, but there's definitely some ones you can top.
I'll tell you what, a reboot in the franchise, it's just about every one that they came out with, in the 3D world of Sonic.
Yes.
Specifically pertaining to Sonic Unleashed. My gosh, if that wasn't one of the biggest dumpster fires of a game I've ever seen in my life.
That was a lot of hype, though.
There was so much
hype.
Oh, you get to play as Sonic as a werewolf or Were-Sonic or whatever.
Was that at the beginning of a console era, too?
No. It came out in like midway of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Okay.
When did those come out?
This is the one with super speed, gathering the rings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, we could just line up some Sonic games.
Xbox 360 came out in November of 2005.
Yeah. Sonic has always had a bad run.
Sonic Unleashed came out in 2008. So it's fairly close to the launch. Well, I guess 3 years.
Yep, this is it. I'm looking at the images now.
Oh my god!
Like, I remember this. This had a lot of hype. Here's the thing about Sonic: we always want a great Sonic game.
We do,
but we never get it. Now, Sonic Mania was just an homage to the original Sonic, the OG.
Yeah.
So, we haven't seen a evolution of Sonic yet. Not the way we saw Mario.
Well, the people who, in all honesty, the people who created Sonic no longer have their own
studio
franchise. They know. Well, no, Sega still makes their games, but they no longer have their own platform to make their IPs for, like Sonic.
You think that Xbox, Sony, or I guess they would have if they could have, but all they have to do is sell the license to use Sonic, and people do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But man, I like Sonic Mania, but I wish that we had a better Sonic game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the story of Sonic here's the thing though, if you can take a plumber, an Italian plumber, and make him successful for as long as he's been, I'm talking about Mario, you can take a hedgehog that can run super fast. And here's the thing, we may be doing an update to this list as far as movies when the Sonic movie come out. We don't know how that's gonna turn out.
If it's anything the way it originally turned out, oh man!
But you know what? They did say that they were reworking the CGI.
They did, but that's after they came out with that trailer.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're listening.
When they come out with the trailer, that means the footage is shot, and they are piecing together stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that gives me excitement is Jim Carrey.
I don't know about Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey is hilarious, man. Jim Carrey possibly could have played
the genie.
Yeah.
Not as big.
Wow.
I can see Jim Carrey playing the genie.
Oh yeah, well, he would have been a wild boy.
He would have been way wild. Jim Carrey probably would have been a way better genie than anybody else. I think that probably would have been great.
Yeah. Yep.
So. But yeah, man.
Another one for me would be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, that was a dumpster fire.
I remember watching the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when I was younger, and it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and it still holds up today to me.
It does.
Like I can watch that right now. It probably comes on TBS and TNT 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But I could watch that right now. Like, I remember reading the book. I remember watching the movie. And when I heard that it was coming out again with, what's your boy name? Pirates of the Caribbean?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
It had a darker tone.
Yeah.
It
had the same similarities of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and the same like overall plot, but it was so much weirder.
The songs are cringy too, because
Yeah.
they tried to make it hip hop. And every time I think about that, I think about that lady. I'm a cut to this video. This is hip hop.
That's what makes it hip hop.
See my pants sag. That's what makes it hip hop.
And cut to, because that's what makes it hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, did you like it? Did you like the new one, the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, when we go back and edit this, you're gonna see. Oh, I just had a major chill, but it didn't go down my back. It was like in my chest areas.
And my neck
I
and
was
my
like,
chin.
oh.
That's what cocaine do to you. Little nose candy. But did you like
party?
Did you? I know. Did you like it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Some people do,
No,
but I didn't.
no. Like when I catch it on TV, I'll skip right past it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could find better things to do with my time than watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Those songs got me, bro. Like those Indian dudes trying to do hip hop.
It was all one dude.
I know. Well, yeah, that Indian dude trying to do hip hop was so cringy to me.
It was.
Maybe that was the point, but it did not do well for me. I didn't like it.
It was weird. It was really weird.
What's another one for you?
The
Worst.
One of the worst remakes that I've ever played game wise, Super Mario 64 DS. You took a game that was perfect, and I mean absolutely perfect.
I never got to play the DS version.
Good. Consider yourself fortunate. The controls on that were so terrible. You take like I don't even think they had like a Z button, so you couldn't like long jump, couldn't do an aerial backflip. The graphics were just god awful.
Oh yeah, DS. That was
And
the dark days of gaming.
And the thing about it is, the technology is way better. You could support that game with a little bit better graphics, higher refresh rate. You could have made that game like 60 frames per second, and it would have been fine on the DS. Yeah, because I mean, if you go and download that ROM, it's only like a couple
frames.
It's only like a couple megabytes.
Yeah, consoles don't get 60 frames.
Yeah, they do.
They lock at 30.
Well, no, not consoles. Yeah, you're right. But like, I mean, PC or even your MacBook could get that.
Yeah.
And but I'm saying is the specs were well above the capability of what they actually put out there.
Well, let's call it what it was, because I remember when this came out, and
that was trash.
It was a cash grab, basically.
It was.
The success of Mario 64 brought people to the platform of the DS, because now you had the ability to take Super Mario 64 everywhere you go. So that's all that was. It was just a cash grab.
It was.
Yeah.
Movie wise, I think I'll do an honorable mention of Tron Legacy.
I didn't even see that.
It was like a remake that was supposed to be an after, like a sequel, but it was just visually it looked okay. Visually it was all right, but plot wise, acting, it was terrible. It was awful. Like, now Tron to begin with was a stupid plot, but to take a stupid plot and make it even stupider, and that takes some skill to do that.
Yeah,
it really does. So Tron gets my honorable mention, but without a doubt,
my honorable mention would be NFL Blitz 2012.
Oh yeah, when they tried to make that after not coming out for it for like 5 years.
Yeah, it just fell flat. It wasn't. I mean, at this point in 2012, we were getting graphics, way better graphics, realistic gameplay. I think the NFL Blitz cycle had run its course, so we didn't need this type of gameplay. We had transitioned into simulation style gaming, simulation sports, like where it was just kind of real graphics, and it didn't give you that feel like at the arcade, like what you used to do.
Yeah,
you know, it didn't. Like it was bad.
It was worse than bad. It was terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So as I was saying, the absolute worst one for me has to be Godzilla 2000 from 1999. This of course was in the era of, oh my gosh, the millennium is coming. We're making a movie and we're going to name it whatever the name of the movie is and then slap 2000 on it. And it's going to be a blockbuster hit. And
do we have some screenshots?
We can find some footage of it, I'm sure.
I just need to see the screenshots.
It was terrible. Let me see if I can find.
The new Godzillas look pretty dope. I haven't seen them yet.
Man, I can't find very much stuff. I see a TV episode, but this is not the artwork for Godzilla 2000. I don't know what that is. Like I said, it came out in Japan and then they readapted it. But it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Because I believe it starred Matthew Broderick in it. And this is around the time Matthew Broderick was like the hugest movie star in the world before he killed that lady and fell off the face of the earth.
Go to the images. Let me see some shots.
Hold on. So,
yeah, I don't remember it. It looks crazy. Yeah.
Man, don't tell me this is one of those things. Mandela effect. Cause I know it's got green and it's got the word 2000 on it. This is not the thumbnail of what it was.
Oh my goodness, we done fell into.
Oh my god.
Berenstein Bears. Hey, go to reviews. I would like to see the reviews of some of these, like the Amazon reviews, maybe.
Okay. We'll
see if it's at Amazon, because I love reading those reviews. We can read some of those reviews.
Amazon review of Godzilla 2000.
Hey, if you want to just go down a rabbit hole talking about that Mandela effect, that's crazy. Because you having it right now. Because I remember this movie coming out, but I didn't see it.
Okay, that's
wait.
Okay, maybe it's just Godzilla.
Okay.
But I remember it being Godzilla 2000.
When did it come out?
Okay, let's see. We appreciate y'all watching this with us.
Yeah, when did this come out?
No, not King of the Monsters.
That's the new one.
What I remember from this Godzilla movie,
1998.
Okay, so it wasn't Godzilla 2000. It was just Godzilla. That's my bad. Okay, so it's not part of the Mandela effect. But I was getting worried that it was, because I remember that green Godzilla on there.
Sinbad did play a genie though.
He did.
That's freaky to me.
I remember.
Yeah. Look at some of the reviews. I want to see.
Oh, let me go to Amazon.
That's what we should have did to some of these movies. Look at the reviews.
Yeah.
I think you already. Oh,
let me search Amazonian.
Go back to, you got it in the tab and go down, because we saw it right there. Yeah, right there.
All right.
4K Ultra. Okay.
Yeah, I want to watch this movie and have it be terribly bad.
Let's see some of these reviews.
All right. Oft mangled as Godzilla movie, specifically this is still an entertaining and expressively produced General Giant. Is it General? Yeah, General Giant monster disaster movie. It has issues such as the eternally infantile attack on Siskel and Ebert by the director via the silly mayor character, as well as the obvious reliance on dark, rainy scenes to obscure CG imperfections.
Man, they are too. This is a Godzilla movie.
But it looks quite good on this most recent Blu-ray version, rain and all.
Okay.
The included digital code lists the 2016 expiration date and was not recognized by Vudu. However, it went through via Sony's site to Movies Anywhere. If not interested in that service, you should not ascribe to value the inclusion of the code here. Okay.
That guy was way too serious about.
It was. Okay, let's see what this person gave it. That first guy gave it 4 stars.
4 stars.
4 stars out of 5. So this one says, love Godzilla looping through rainy New York City and destroying Madison Square Garden. Hated Matthew Broderick's unendearing character, as well as many of the minor characters. Hank Azaria and his wife in the film are equally offensive, shrill, and dumb. I have to give credit to Maria Patillo, who was too good as the ditzy girlfriend. She was totally believable. I've seen her on Law & Order. She played a druggy prostitute, and she was brilliant. Unfortunately, this movie probably ruined her career because I have not seen her since A Shame and a Waste. 3 stars.
Let's go to one of the worst. See what they say.
Okay, all right.
We should do this for Sonic Unleashed, dude. I would love.
Only one of them gave 4 star. Oh, wow, that's a couple. 1 star. Redone 4K is not worth it. Better picture on a regular DVD, not even Blu-ray. 1 star. Unfortunately, I rented this video, but it had a glitch about 15 minutes. It would not start. I could not find any way to contact Amazon for a refund on this. 1 star. Poor monster design, poor script, poor acting.
Okay, my guy.
1 star.
Thank you. Straight to the point.
It doesn't work. It starts and then goes to resume over and over. Okay, 1 star. I love this movie to death, but I'm pretty upset that this would and it didn't come set in its case, but I guess you get what you pay for. Okay, whatever. 1 star. Want a DVD on my TV. 1 star. And that person put it on my birthday, October 14th. I canceled this order. It was a mistaken click on the button. I have no idea how to access and download and watch digital movie. I doubt I have the equipment to do so. 1 star.
So they're not talking about the actual movie.
No.
They're talking about the experience. But I love to look at these reviews to see. Okay. So Godzilla.
Basically, okay, so you basically have Godzilla who comes to destroy everything. And apparently, instead of Godzilla being a dude, in this movie, Godzilla was a dudette. Godzilla was a lady. And in the Staples Center, Godzilla laid all these monster eggs.
Oh, this is this movie?
Yes, which turned out to be all these like velociraptors.
Yeah, I remember.
In the Staples Center. And Matthew Broderick's character should have died 15 different times while being trapped in this Staples Center and having these dinosaurs run around everywhere and loose in New York City. It was just awfully terrible. Matthew Broderick, I'm sorry, but you were like a terrible actor when you got older. The only good film that you had, I'd probably say, was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was about it.
That's it.
Where you got to break the fourth wall and talk to the audience. Other than that, I'll give you, well, not even that. I thought he played a really bad Simba. I thought his voice acting in The Lion King was pretty bad because I recently just watched it.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty bad.
I'm indifferent because I didn't really look at the voice acting as much. Maybe if I saw it then, as a child, I just loved The Lion King.
Yeah, I can see that. So, all in all, Godzilla was a very, very bad remake. It did. Let me see what the numbers were.
What was a Rotten Tomato on it?
Rotten Tomatoes ranked it. No, not King of the Monsters.
40. Oh, no. Wow. So the new one.
Not King of the Monsters.
Go back up to the search. It had somebody put 1998.
Where?
Hey, go back in the search and do Rotten Tomato. You'll see it pop up. 1998.
Ah, there we go. Thank you, sir. Rotten Tomatoes, Godzilla, 1998. Oh, 16%.
Audience score 28.
I don't think I've seen a movie score that low on Rotten Tomatoes ever.
Dumb and Dumber. Look up Dumb and Dumber.
The second one, Dumb and Dumberer.
Just look up Dumb and Dumber. Comedies really don't do that good on Rotten Tomato, but I love Dumb and Dumber. It got a 60. Oh, the new one,
Dumb and Dumberer, gets a 10.
Yeah,
10%.
The one without Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Oh, when Harry met Lloyd.
Yeah.
When met Lloyd. Now, Napoleon Dynamite, that's my movie. If you're talking about stupid comedies.
You got a 71. That's a classic.
It is. And I thought it was the stupidest movie when it first came out. That was right when I graduated high school, but then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it
that's what we got for the worst.
Of course, in the comment sections,
let us know what you think.
Yeah, and tell us your worst. And tell us if we're wrong about these.
We're not wrong.
we're
not wrong.
I doubt we're wrong. If I will, yeah. Give me your best argument if we're wrong. I would love to see that.
We're not wrong. But thanks. And we're back.
Yes. So we went through the best and the worst remakes or reboots, whatever you want to call it, remakes. So now we want to go into a part of the show where we say what we would like to see made as remakes. I can feel the heat from your rapist eyes.
What would we like to see remade? I'll go first. Xander, I'd like to hear what you like. No, Donkey Kong 64. Yes. I want to see a remake of Donkey Kong 64. Don't change anything except maybe a little bit of the controls, make it a little bit better. I said all that really, really quickly.
Keep going.
Yeah. Expand the game, like redo the graphics, make it look just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And update it. And along with that same token, let me see a remake of Super Mario 64. There are so many Zelda games that get remakes. Ocarina of Time has gotten a remake, but we're still in 64-bit with Mario. Yeah, Ocarina.
Yeah.
Has Ocarina.
Well, I was saying for Mario 64, I would say that Super Mario World 3D Mario World, they came out on the what's the failure?
Wii U?
Yeah, the failure, Wii U. That was kind of 3D.
No, it's not the same. Not what I'm talking. I'm talking about a full on. This is the exact same game, just updated graphics and new play.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Like everything's basically the same except
that would be dope.
Updated.
That would be dope.
I want to see Super Mario 64 and Donkey Kong 64 as well.
Yeah.
And you can even change the name to like the graphics, whatever the
enhanced version.
Yeah. Donkey Kong HD.
Yeah.
Super Mario HD.
That would be dope.
It wouldn't it though?
And for Nintendo not to do that, which they seem like like you said, they do it for every other game.
Especially Zelda.
They could probably make a lot of money doing that.
I'm going to show a video of a fan-made Donkey Kong 64 like HD remake or whatever. And this thing looks amazing.
Whoa.
That is not it.
Yeah, that says 6 hours.
No. That is not what I'm talking about. But I want to play that game.
So a fan remade?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's check it out. Turn it all the way up.
Look at it. Roll this beautiful beam footage.
This looks like Zelda.
This is Zelda.
I hope this is. Hope we don't get booted for this music.
It's a beat or something. They're about to show Donkey Kong. But this is like something that they've done.
So this was before Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Looks good. Okay, this is the Donkey Kong.
Yes. Like, you know how long I would spend playing this game? I would get a Switch. Look at that. Bro, come on. Go ahead, do the roll. Do the roll. You gotta do the roll where it sounds like he tugging on something. Tell me what you think. What are you saying? What are you saying right now?
I never played Donkey Kong 64 for an extended period of time like you did, because I did play it a lot, but I never finished it. But it looks good. I can see this being on the Switch, and I mean, I'm thinking about Breath of the Wild and how they did that. That's a Switch game, so they can definitely do Donkey Kong.
Dude, I would love this so much. And he just made this one little world right here. Or it's kind of like where you start out when you start playing.
Yeah. Looks good. Yeah, I definitely would like to see. I can see Donkey Kong 64. In the same line, we're gonna stay with the games for right now. The game that I would like to see be remade is Mag.
Oh,
I've talked about Mag plenty of times on the podcast. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Came out on the PS3, 100 versus 100, like all out war. You had your different platoons that you can play with, different objectives. I thought this was an awesome game. I would love to see a game like that. Like, you want to, now I know Battle Royale is all the rage, but 100 on 100, like team battles, like that was insane. Different classes working together.
Yep.
I mean, the mic, the headset parties on that was crazy. Like, I loved it, man. Like, so Mag is a remake that I would love to see.
I can see that. I can see Mag being a remake that you would love to see.
Maybe on the PS5.
Maybe. That'd be dope. Another one I would like to see is, I would actually like to see a DC Cinematic Universe remake of, like, you know,
So from the beginning.
Connect everything.
So let me ask you this. You're more of a DC fan than I am.
Yeah.
What would be the first movie that you would launch, or first hero that you would launch in your new DC Cinematic Universe?
you have to go with Superman, because Superman essentially starts the Justice League. Him and Batman. It would be Superman followed by Batman. Them two together. I think they started to do it with
Superman versus
Batman: Dawn of Justice, and for some reason DC was like, "Nah, we're not gonna go that way." Like, it was okay. I mean, I don't like, the one thing that I don't like is how incredibly dark the movies are. Those movies, and I'm specifically talking about the lighting. The lighting of those movies, it's always so dark.
It's always a dark tone.
It's never anything happening in the light. And I get it. Gotham City is like the worst city in the world. But, give me some better lighting.
Yeah.
Or something.
I could see, I look at Batman as the Tony Stark. So, like, in the Avengers, Tony Stark kind of knows the weaknesses and strengths of all the Avengers. So, like, the way he created the Hulk Buster, because he knew that one day the Hulk would get out of hand. Like, Batman, in the comics, he created a contingency plan
for everybody.
Everybody. I could see that. Even though I would love to see it too, as a comic book fan in general. Like, I don't hate DC, I just love Marvel. But it's too bad that they confirmed that they won't do that.
Yeah.
But they're losing out. And Dawn of Justice, another tidbit, was much longer than what we saw. So they cut a lot out of that movie.
Yeah.
So that probably hurt the whole nucleus of the movie in the way, the pacing of it, because they cut so much out of it.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, I would love to see DC actually remake it and have the same kind of effort and thought put into a 10-year, movie expansion collective universe into that. They're capable of doing it. DC does a fantastic job marrying several different shows like Arrow, Flash, and what's the other one that they had? Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl.
I think they did earlier on, but it's been a lot of reports that DC Plus, their streaming service, is crumbling, like, at the foundation.
It's because
a lot of those shows are being canceled now. Like, I don't know why DC can't get it right with this. They have the history and the characters to do it, but I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know either. But that's one I would like to see.
As a comic book fan, I agree with you. I would love to see that too. Keeping along with the comics theme, I would love to see a remake of X-Men. Mm-hmm. Now that Marvel have acquired those characters again, I would love to see them implemented into the MCU universe. As Spider-Man was introduced into the MCU universe, I would love to see the X-Men. Like, one thing that Marvel does so right is that they cast the right people to play each character. I would love to see their take on Wolverine. Storm. We haven't had a great Storm in forever.
Yeah.
Beast. I think Magneto was actually all right. The way they cast him. Of course, in the comic books, we saw Magneto as an older guy for most of the time. Yeah, man, I would love to see the X-Men and Avengers fight alongside each other, or even fight each other. I would love to see a remake of the X-Men in the MCU universe.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Was there anything else that you wanted to see for that?
Those are the main things that I would like to see. Of course, we want to know what you want to see.
Of course we do, because we're the DLC guys, and we always want to know what you are up to.
Hey,
we want to hear what you're exclusive.
Hey, put a comment. I know,
exclusive.
maybe you want to see Pee Wee Herman back. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But
Pee Wee Herman already came back for a Netflix special, and I watched it, and it was meh.
Yeah, he got that bag and ran though. He got that money.
He should have stayed in the movie theater.
Shit. That's what got him in trouble. All right.
That's all we got. That's all we got.
No, I think it's...
That's all we got for what would we like to see.
One got to go. One has to go.
One has to go. One has to go. Didn't we already have a song for this?
Yeah.
Let's play the song. And go. One has to go.
That's it. All right, today's one has to go.
One has
if you
to go.
don't know what this is where we take 4 different things and we say one of those has to go. Past, present, and future. So the impact that it made on the industry, all that has to go. So
has to go, son.
Today is controllers. Ooh. So Matt, you brought this topic up, so I'm gonna let you introduce the different controllers that we are dissecting today.
All right, first one up. We got the N64 controller from Nintendo. Right there, right there, right there. Then we got the Dreamcast controller from Sega. Boom. After that, we got the DualShock from PlayStation. Boom. And then we got the Duke from Xbox.
You know we can put these sound effects. All right, today's controllers.
It is controllers, video game controllers. One has to go. I'll start the bidding off at 5 1/4.
6 6/16.
Okay, so I'll go first. I think the first one to stay is the Nintendo 64 controller.
Wow.
And I will tell you why, sir. If everything has to go, then there's absolutely no way that you could have any of the other 3 without the N64 controller, because it was the first of its kind by over a year. Nintendo 64 came out, then PlayStation came out, I believe, the next year.
And you're talking about the thumbsticks.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thumb joystick was revolutionary. The controller design was revolutionary. Now, granted, it had like the little 3-prong kind of trident
super
looking thing. It looked weird.
Yeah.
But it gave the roadmap for every other controller after that. Now they kind of came off with it, but the biggest thing was that joystick. Yeah. That joystick in the middle of the controller using your thumb, it revolutionized everything. For that reason and that reason alone, you cannot, in my opinion, you cannot take away the N64 controller, so that stays. Next. Dreamcast.
I thought I was going to go.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the 64 as well, because exactly for the same reason. The thumbstick was the only thing I can think about during that time. I remember playing, I forgot the name of the game, but it was a racing game. And being able to race with the thumbstick, and then playing Star Fox 64 with the thumbstick, that blew my mind. Like, I was used to playing with the D-pads, and of course, the D-pads were limited. Yeah. And the thumbstick, it wasn't the greatest thumbstick, but it introduced us to it. So you say what you want. I mean, they're the one that took the step to bring that thumbstick. Yeah. So
who's your second one that stays on the board, Mr. Xander Todd?
Second one for me would be PlayStation. The DualShock, because they revolutionized the game as well, bringing the Bluetooth controller to the market and not having to load batteries into the controller and being truly wireless.
Was it Bluetooth?
Yes. The DualShock.
Okay.
Now
the original PlayStation controller.
Yeah, the original PlayStation controller wasn't. But the DualShock introduced that PlayStation 3 introduced that Bluetooth.
Okay.
And of course, this was a time where everything was not wireless. everything
wasn't wireless.
Yeah.
But you could buy wireless adapters and controllers,
which it costs way more than it does now.
Yeah.
Like you can buy Bluetooth speakers at Five Below now. You couldn't do that back.
Side note, they're crap.
Yeah, but you couldn't even touch Bluetooth technology at $5.
No, not at all.
So PlayStation has to stay. And with that Rumble feature, like it just felt great. That was already included into the controller. So PlayStation, for me, has to stay.
All right. Second one that has to absolutely stay for me, the Dreamcast. Dreamcast controller has to stay. Because the Dreamcast controller gave you dual thumbsticks. And it also gave haptic feedback in haptic feedback responses. It did have a little pack that had the controller, or they had the rumble feature. So on the back of, or right at the top of the Dreamcast controller, there was a slot for your little memory card, which was giant and was also revolutionary in its own right, because when you take out the memory card was like a little handheld video game system of itself, where you could have, like, I know with Sonic they had like these little pets or whatever, and back then at that time when Dreamcast was huge, Tamagotchi pets there was like the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, those Gigapets.
Yeah, Gigapets. So you could have one of those and take it with you on the go wherever you wanted. So that was a huge thing around that time. But you could also, like, there were like small little games. I remember playing Snake on the memory card because it had like a little thumbstick and joystick and stuff like that. You could play Tetris on it. So that was amazing. There hasn't been any other controller that I've seen or heard about that has had that kind of feature. And the Rumble Pack was revolutionary because it didn't just it added Rumble features to every single game that the Dreamcast had. Crazy Taxi, specifically, the most notable one was Sonic Adventure. Haptic feedback, and then it brought feedback to the football games too. What was the big one?
2K.
Yeah, NFL 2K. That's essentially where we get the 2K series came from Sega and Dreamcast after they got bought out. But it was the first series to bring Rumble to sports games, and for that reason, and just the ergonomic feel of it, it has to stay, because it was the first controller to bring out the dual thumbsticks.
So for you, PlayStation and Xbox, specifically the first DualShock and the Duke.
Yeah.
Which one goes for you?
Which one goes?
Yeah.
Which one stays?
Well, whichever one you pick, we're going to know the other one.
All right.
So which one is eliminated from history forever?
The DualShock. The DualShock. I think the reason for me the DualShock has to go is outside of Bluetooth integration, which eventually came everywhere.
Well, Xbox just got it, and it cost $90 to get.
True. Outside of Bluetooth integration and maybe the Rumble Pad feature or Rumble feature. PlayStation's advancements to handheld controllers have stayed with PlayStation and haven't really revolutionized the entire gaming industry as a whole. I think they've revolutionized PlayStation in the way that they feel, but with Xbox came it came start and select buttons. I'm sorry, Dreamcast had a start button, a triangle start button, but you had like it was a black and white button, and they were used for different things on the original Xbox. Now that controller was a giant monstrosity of a controller. It was crazy huge, but it brought us the form factor for what every controller after that basically emulates. And Xbox got that idea originally from the Dreamcast. So for me, it's all an evolution. And if I look at the controllers from Xbox to Dreamcast to PlayStation, with the exception of technology advancements and adaptation of those, there's not really much that I can see that PlayStation's controller has implemented or made in those controllers. And so for that, the DualShock has to go for me. If we didn't have the DualShock, I believe we'd still have the same type of controllers that we have now. Now, don't get me wrong.
A lot more batteries.
Yeah, maybe so. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the DualShock 4. I think it's one of the best controllers ever made. But if I didn't have it, and I had the other kind, like similar to Xbox, I think I'd be all right.
I think I would have to go, so Dreamcast and the Xbox controller are left for me. And the one that I would have to let go would be the Xbox Duke. And this is why. The Dreamcast, for all the reasons that you said, like, it was one of a kind. I think that PlayStation, and it's all preference, of course, but PlayStation not only evolved into, what?
Oh, yeah, a little better.
Oh, that's, it's still recording. We get this.
Okay.
PlayStation, it had all the technological advances for me. The Xbox controller was awesome. I love the Xbox 360 controller. I love the way it felt. I love the staggering of the joysticks instead of them being symmetrical at the bottom. But I would have to let the Xbox go because I feel like the PlayStation took leaps and bounds where Xbox just got lazy. Like, why didn't we have the Bluetooth technology back with 360 like we did the PlayStation? We ran through so many batteries. Also, the DualShock 4 upgraded even more, where the Xbox X or Xbox One controller, it got better from the 360, but it really didn't do anything else. Like, the DualShock 4 has the touchpad. It also has speakers in the controller to give it a more ambient sound with the game. Like if you're playing GTA, like you can hear the sirens in the controller. So it gives you like a more immersive game. It also acts as a PlayStation Move controller from the sensors inside of it. So some games, the way you move the controller, the Axis technology that it had, where you can actually drive with the controller, just more technological advances. Like the touchpad and even voice command in the PlayStation 4. A lot of people don't know this, but you can use voice commands with your PlayStation controller to tell your PlayStation to play a game or to go to a certain menu. So there's a lot of different things that they took bigger steps in that Xbox didn't do. But I do like the feel of the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, whatever they're calling it now. But I will have to let that go and keep the PlayStation.
I respect that. I don't like it, but I respect it.
That's one gotta go.
That is one gotta go. That was kind of easy for me. As you can see, my process and thinking of it had to form throughout the evolution of the controller and what we have now. And, you know, the way I saw it, PlayStation just really hasn't made that big of an imprint. Now, I could be going as far as aesthetics goes, but hey, nonetheless, each to our own. Game well played, Zandy.
I hate that.
Really?
Yes, I hate that.
Game well played, Mr. Xander Todd.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's one gotta go. Let us know in the comments what you think has to go. And let us know the reason why. Because different gamers have different preferences and different memories attached to those controllers.
And different preferences have different gamers.
Yep. And
different gamers have different preferences.
That's it.
And different that's its have different at this.
And we want to thank you for listening to the DLC guys.
And each think, you know, has its own DLC guy attached to it.
Be sure to leave a comment and subscribe.
Each comment has its own subscribe button along with it, as vice versa. Each subscription has its own comment section.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace. Each time we see you next time, I mean, it's